What? Oops. What is going on, everyone? Thank you very much for joining me for the final, well, probably not the final stream, but the final big stream before the game week. There will be probably a deadline stream tomorrow, but that's only going to be for an hour. It's going to be a lot of panic, waiting for team sheets and stuff. Apologies to everybody that was waiting in the other stream. I decided to start the stream a different way so that everyone knew it was starting at 9, so it popped up on YouTube and stuff for everyone. And if for whatever reason, when I went live, that stream didn't pop. It created a whole brand new one. So I was literally doing my introduction, I played my sponsorship video and all that stuff, and none of you could even see me. As a tradition, the suit is on. Because I've just absolutely panicked to get the stream back up, I am sweating so much. Actually, not too bad. I was though at the time. But yeah, as a tradition, the suit is on. We're literally less than 24 hours now from game week 1. So we're going to chat everything that's happened today. Obviously, there's been lots of transfers. I feel like there's transfers I don't even know about. I literally looked on Twitter just before I came on, and Wolves have signed some winger that I've never heard of before. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think most of the transfers, the big transfers, I know about, but we'll try and keep up. If not, we'll discuss it together. The stream is sponsored by fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. If you want to check them out, there's links in the description below. Would highly recommend it for all your stats, articles, rate my teams, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to play this video really quickly, and then it's time to jump into my team and the questions. So thanks very much for them for sponsoring. Really would recommend it. It's a site I've used ever since I started playing FPL. Legit. So go and check them out. This is it. This is my team on screen. For anyone that's watched my team video, and thank you because it's hit 100,000 views, which is insane. I thought I was another year or so off doing that. So yeah, if anyone's checked that, yeah, I know a lot of people like you put teams up and then you change them, but I've only literally changed 2 players. Yeah, I think I had Lucas Moura. So, Pope is back in for Heat, and I'm still not sure about goalkeepers. Greenwood is in for Wickham, but I mean, Wickham was just in because I probably forgot to change him. And obviously, Man United haven't signed a striker. They've got rid of Lukaku, so Greenwood's probably going to be in the squad more often than not, even if he doesn't play. And then I just need to line this up better because Marco's in the stream and he'll be messaging me on WhatsApp afterwards. I designed this really cool thing for you and you just didn't even line it up properly. There we go. I think that's it actually, just Greenwood and Pope. I think everything else is looking pretty similar to before. You look like a Boris Johnson repeat. I know, I look like I just finished work. I've got a nicer suit that is like more, I don't know, less businessy. But the problem is it's even bigger than this one, and this one's pretty big now, so can't really wear it. What other admin-y stuff is there? If you haven't already, go and subscribe. There's so much more content to come this season. Hit that like button if you haven't already. There's already 1,300 people watching, so if everyone goes and likes, we'll get like 2,000 plus on this one. And there are polls, 4 of them, because I had 5 set up. And I couldn't remember what they were when I was resetting the stream up. So I've put 5 in. How many defenders are you playing? Because a lot of people were talking about 5 at the back. So are you playing 3, 4 or 5? Best 7.5 million mid. I'm looking at that. A lot of people are. FRASER, MOURA, Martial. Probably not David Silva, I don't think. But out of those 3, I put him in anyway because he's the only other 7.5. How many Liverpool defenders? So I was really surprised when I was watching the Scoutcast that only 1 out of 4 had 2 Liverpool defenders. I was really surprised at that. They've gone very much classic, like 3-4-3, which is interesting. It was interesting to see what works out. And then how many premium attackers? Are you going 0? Probably not. Just the 1, 2, 3 or 4 plus. I wish I had a pair of shorts on. I've got like joggers on basically. Did I lose weight? Yes. No, I've put so much on the holiday. I feel so bad. Okay, let's talk. I guess we should talk FPL, right? Yeah, probably. Let's see. You're getting doubts on Zinchenko. Yeah, it's. I'm a little bit worried. I mean, I don't want to obviously spend this whole stream just saying I'm going to wait until the press conference. But it'd be interesting to see what Pep says tomorrow about Mendy. You know, does he say anything about Cancelo? Is it Cancelo or Cancelo? I feel like it's Cancelo. But it'd be interesting to see whether he says anything about him. You know, that he can play on the left or whatever. I've lost the chat for some reason. Bear with me just a sec. So, yeah, and whether he bigs up Zinchenko as well. Because, I mean, he did play well last year. And if Mendy's out, I still feel like he's going to be the number one left back. I don't know if Cancelo is just going to jump straight in. Okay, it's Cello. Okay. I got it wrong. I'm sorry. I can only get one name right every week. So Ceballos, Moise Kean. I think it's Moise Kean from what I was looking at earlier. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the thing with Zinchenko is the other reason I'm getting cold feet is there's lots of 5.5 million defenders. So I could go Spurs. They got two really nice fixtures in the first three. Obviously one of the three is against Man City as well. Kean. Oh my god. Anyway, we're not going to be talking about him yet. I could just go Man United. I could get. I mean, there's a lot of people saying Shaw's the best option. Maybe he is down that left side. But I think I would find it hard to go for a Man United defender and not just go for one of the new boys. Just got a picture in the back of my head of Maguire scoring a goal in the last minute against Chelsea, winning 1-0, 15 pointer to start it off. Well, Cancelo is 5.5. The thing is, that's because they don't expect him to be first choice, I'd say. So yeah, that's another thing to say. At the time of recording this, how many prices did they list? Let's have a look. Have they released everyone's prices? Sorry, I'm going to have to do this live now. So Cancelo's 5.5. So they've obviously priced him like Zinchenko because I don't think they think he's first choice. And to be fair, a lot of people have been saying there's every chance that Walker comes in at 6. Sorry, obviously he is 6, but Walker carries on, and Pep doesn't tend to put players straight into the team. So will Cancelo start game week 1? I think it's unlikely, right? So you probably can't do it, but eventually, if Cancelo takes over, he's in, right? 5.5 million. You can't. I feel like that's probably a mistake on their part, but whatever. Emil Kraft, 4.5 million. Know nothing about him. I'm not even going to pretend otherwise. Newcastle's vendor. Andy Carroll, 5.5. I thought for sure he'd be a 5. He's on a pay-as-you-play deal, I think. Tierney at Arsenal is 5.5. I think he's going to be interesting at some point. Probably not someone to go for game week 1 necessarily. But he's going to be the first choice left back, you'd imagine. And I think I tweeted yesterday, he's got something like 30 attacking returns in 97 Scottish Premiership games. Now, I know it's Scotland versus the Premier League, but I think he could be interesting. And I think Arsenal, in general, have made some pretty good upgrades, to be honest. Spurs, Sessegnon, 5.5 million. Again, we're going to have to wait till he's fit and see how many games he gets. And Lo Celso, probably pronounced that wrong, 7.5. So, again, probably not someone for the start. So, Tierney I'm interested in. And I mean, Cancelo, absolutely. If he looks number 1 and he gets the place off of Walker, it'll be straight in. Yeah, Zuma should play. As far as I know, it's going to be Zuma and Christensen to start. I assume it'll probably be Zuma and Rudiger, maybe. There's a few Chelsea fans in there that will quite happily tell me otherwise. I should say as well, this team has got 0.5 million in the bank. So I do, if I get rid of Zinchenko, for example, let's say I get cold feet on him tomorrow. I don't know if I'd necessarily stick to 4 at the back. Yeah, no, I know Rudiger's injured. I mean when he's not injured. Yeah. So I don't know if I would definitely stick to another defender. So I could go for Barkley. I could go for Lacadia. I could go for Trossard. I could get... I think I said Barkley. Who's the other one? I could go for Daniel James in midfield and just go 3-5-2. Don't know. I don't know if I'm going to definitely stick to a defender if I get cold feet on Zinchenko. But if Pep gives me positive vibes tomorrow, I'm going to keep him. I just think he's worth the risk essentially. 5.5 million for a City defender. I know the fixtures aren't perfect, but they're definitely fixtures they can get clean sheets in. Yeah, Diogo Jota. So let's talk about him. So I think I've said it a few times. I do think he's probably, over the course of the season, the best 6.5 million forward, as it stands right now. I'm trying to stick to my guns, though. I don't have him in because of the fixtures, essentially. I know he come off after 60 minutes, long flight now, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go without him and just hope. Obviously, they're playing the Europa League tonight. Bit of an easier team than they're going to probably face in the league. And I know what people have been saying to me. Wolves did do well against the big teams last year. And to be fair to Jota, ever since that switch to 3-5-2, he has been in form. And he's been in form all pre-season. And he started the season really well as well. So I can see why people are going for him. I still don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna stick with King for the first two, Sheffield United and Aston Villa, and then I've got a straight swap to Jota. I think it's as easy as not as easy for that. I'm trying very hard to stick to my guns. And here's another question from Gorav. Thanks very much about sticking to my guns. So I agree. Stacking stats wise, attacking. Did I say stacking stats? Attacking stats. Yeah, Trent probably does beat Robertson. He's on set pieces as well. And he might get more attacking returns this year. I think both Liverpool fullbacks are maybe due a little bit less attacking returns this year. I still think they're probably going to be worth their money, but I wouldn't be surprised if they came down a bit. But as we saw in the Community Shield, Gomez can move to the right and Matip can come in and play centre-back. And that does worry me a bit. Now, I don't know how often that's going to happen in an easy fixture like Norwich. Probably not. And first game of the season, I expect him to play. And if I think I'm probably gonna wild card early, then maybe I could take the risk. I think I'd almost rather wait and see how often he maybe gets benched in the first few game weeks and then bring him in. It's not like Robertson is an awful pick. And I mean, I could upgrade Van Dijk to Trent, but I've kind of been set on Robertson and Van Dijk like all pre-season, and I just don't feel like making that move now. Because if it goes wrong, that'll be really annoying. If I'm wrong, and Trent was absolutely the one to go for, then okay, I made a mistake. But if I switch now and then I get it wrong, that'll feel worse. So I'm not. I think you're fine to have Trent, and you can absolutely make an argument for him. And your argument is probably better than mine, but personally, that's what I'm not going for him. Cheers, Andy. Thanks very much. Good luck to you too. Van Dijk is staying for sure. So Kian, I hope that's how you pronounce it, for Everton. I'm pretty excited about. I think 7 million is a good price. I think some people thought he was going to come in at 7.5, maybe 8, like Sigurdsson and Richarlison. He's definitely an exciting player. Obviously, he's really young. I think it's his goals per 90 or something for Juventus were pretty decent. But obviously, he's not had too many games, so you don't know if he's going to suddenly come in and adapt to the Premier League. So we'll have to wait and see if he's fit to start game week 1. And if not, he's probably going to be in by game week 2 or game week 3. It's like Roy Keane. I said that at the start, and everyone's like, no, it's Kian. Moise Keane. That's how I heard it earlier. Anyway, I feel like I can keep King. Just do the Sheffield United and Aston Villa fixtures, and then switch him to whoever. It could be Jota, it could be Keane. By the way, I'm just sticking to one now. I don't care how you pronounce it. I'm not gonna. As soon as I say one name, I get a different name. So there's no point in going back and forth. Fourth. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I might bring him in, but if I have to wait till game week 3, whatever. I've got 0.5 million in the bank, so I can make that upgrade. I feel like that 0.5 million, I've not purposely saved it. It just happened that I built my team and I had 0.5 million less. So I don't feel compelled to spend it if I don't have to. I'm not kind of purposely saving 0.5 million to have flexibility or anything, but it does obviously provide that. What do I think of Iwobi? I mean, he feels like one of those players that's been around for years, always had potential and never really shown it. So, I mean, he could do well. I mean, he's only 6 million, right? So it could be a good price for him at Everton, but I'm probably going to wait and see. I mean, compared to other 6 million players, there's probably not too many options, right? So as a punt for that kind of price, 6 million. It's Barkley, Daniel James. Yeah, there's not that many players. You seem nervous. I'm not nervous. I don't think I am. What's there to be nervous about? Just the same old stream. Just a few more people. Just sit back and relax. Leno. So I think maybe it's just wishful thinking, right? But I try not to let previous seasons completely overtake my thinking. And I think, if you look at how Arsenal performed defensively last season, yeah, okay, fair enough. Shouldn't even be looking at any defenders. They've got Tierney in now. Now, whether he'll come straight in and be amazing, be decent, be good defensively, I don't know. How will he adapt to the Premier League? But he's got a lot of, I wouldn't say hype, but there's a lot of people that think he's going to do well. You've got David Luiz in, that brings in a bit more experience. And hopefully, I think a lot of Arsenal fans are hoping that they wouldn't have to play Mustafi as much once Bellerin's fit and playing. And I think Leno's an okay keeper. And then they've improved in front. Maybe not defensively in midfield, but I don't know. I just feel like don't completely write off Leno. I mean, 5 million for a top 6 keeper. I don't know. Am I going to start with him? Probably not. Is he one to consider for wildcard? I will definitely be looking at him. I'm going to see how Arsenal perform defensively to start with. And then I might look at him on wildcard. I'm definitely not writing him off. I can see why people are, for sure. I don't know. I think Arsenal have just had a really good window. I think them and Spurs. Obviously, Chelsea couldn't buy anyone. Man United, I mean, defensively, yes, they've improved. Arguably in attack, now worse off. We'll see how it happens. But Spurs and Arsenal in particular are very, very good. Heaton and Pope is a very good goalkeeper combo if you want to rotate. Yeah. Arsenal still have a banter defence. I think, Tierney, Luiz, Holding / Socrates, Bellerin, Leno, I don't think it's that bad. It's not awful. It's not as bad as it probably was last year. We'll see, though. At the end of the day, they're not at a point where you absolutely have to go and buy them, right? So you can wait. I mean, I'm really intrigued by Tierney. I think that's another reason to have a 5.5 defender. There's loads of options you can go to. I mean, one thing that put me off Heaton, which I can't remember who pointed out to me on Twitter. That's another thing I'd need to remember how to pronounce Twitter. Because usually my accent, sounds like I'm saying it with a D. They pointed out that Heaton, I think, plays Spurs, obviously, in the first game. So I got Lucas Moura. In the second game, it's Bournemouth. So I've got Wilson and King. And then the third game is Everton. So some people will have maybe Sigurdsson or Richarlison. Or like me, I've got Lucas Dean. So I'm basically hoping for no clean sheets. Obviously, you can top it up with saves, but I feel like I'm going to take the risk on Pope and hope that Burnley defence is just better than Aston Villa, which I think we would probably all agree it is. So I'm probably going to stick to Pope now. Why isn't Sigurdsson in your team? I'm kind of taking a bit of a punt on Lucas Moura. I know he's the transfer waiting to happen. If I can get 3 game weeks out of him, I'll consider that an okay punt. And then I can let's get rid of him. Hey, Bournemouth get 10 clean sheets last year. Yeah, if you are watching, which you obviously are if you're hearing this, because otherwise you won't be able to hear it, so that was a really stupid thing to say. Make sure to give the stream a like. It'd be much appreciated. Got nearly 2,500 people watching already, which is a bit insane. And go and vote on the polls if you haven't already. We'll do them probably about an hour-ish. I don't know how long the stream will be. We might go a bit longer than normal today. Howard, thanks very much. Yeah, thoughts on triple Bournemouth. I've been thinking about this a lot, basically. And it doesn't feel right, does it? Doesn't feel right having 3. Okay, that's super weird. We're back, I think. I have no idea. That wasn't my internet, I don't think. I think that was YouTube. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen that now. It's going to split it into 2, isn't it? I'd say doing videos is so much easier than live streaming. Okay. Really strange. Let me just check everything's working. Maybe it is my internet. Which would be really frustrating today of all days. Howard, anyway, thanks very much. Yeah. Triple Bournemouth. It feels like I shouldn't do it, but at the end of the day, if you think of each individual player, they're all good in their own right. Okay? If you have King, people will say that's a good pick. If you have Wilson, they'll say it's a good pick. If you have Fraser, that's a good pick. Why can't you have all 3? Do you know what I mean? If they're all good picks individually, are they not all good picks together? I get the idea that, you know, if it's just a 1 or 2-0 win, then you can only get so many attacking returns. But there's part of me that does think that Fraser is better than MOURA. And having 3 Bournemouth is not the end of the world to start off with. But obviously you've got to be prepared that, you know, if they don't do well, then that is it. You kind of got 3 players that are not scoring points. Well, Milivojevic, sorry, probably now a much better option now that Zaha is staying. I mean, he scored a ridiculous amount of penalties the last 2 seasons. I don't know. I think I've said this the last 2 years. I can't bring myself to buy a player just for penalties. Of course, we do pick players because they have penalties all the time. Like X player versus X player, well, or X versus Y. Y's got penalties, I'm going to go for him. That's fair enough. But I just think Milivojevic, you're pretty much just relying on set pieces. So I just can't get behind that. For 7 million, I'd rather have Zaha, I think. He's going to win the penalties, and from open play, he's an option anyway. Now, the only thing I'd worry about with Zaha is what's his state of mind going to be. That's the only worry I have with him. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you'd assume he's going to start pushing for a move in January or next summer, and he's going to have to try and play for that move. Although a lot of people wanted him this season, so maybe he doesn't need to do that. In your poll by attackers, you mean mids and strikers, right? How is it 0? It's premium attackers, though. So you could potentially have 0 midfielders, all forwards that are premium. I guess I should have put a price in, like 11 million plus or something. When do I plan on playing my wildcard? I basically have no plan when to play it. If things are going badly at the start, I'll play it after 3 or 4 game weeks. If they're not, let's just keep going. See what happens. Why do I trust Pope? What about a 6 million keeper? I feel like I've talked about this on videos so much, people must be bored of it. But if I put a premium, basically it's like Pope and Lucas Dean, or Edison plus a 4.5 million defender, and I just feel like the cheaper goalkeeper plus the high price defender strategy works better. Got more chance for attack and returns, whereas the goalkeeper can still get save points. A player like Edison or Alisson doesn't really get save points. I think it was Edison had the least amount of saves out of all keepers last year. So they don't get the save points. Yes, they get clean sheets, but really the ceiling's like 6. Pope a little injury prone. I don't know. Has he got any worse recently? I mean, he had that season where he played like 3,000 odd minutes. Who are we expecting the Leicester centre-backs? I mean, I guess it's Evans +1, right? Who that +1 is, I'm not entirely sure. Right, or polls. No polls yet. There's polls you can go and vote on. We won't go through them yet. Oh, I've lost the polls. Are you serious? I can't mess with it. I can't mess with it. If the polls are gone, I apologise a lot. But hey, go and like the stream instead. Are Chelsea going to be good defensively? I mean they've lost Luiz. That's it. Is Luiz going to be a massive factor? They've got Kante still in front in the defence. They've got Kepa in goal. Azpilicueta still there. Alonso, Emerson. I think they'll be decent enough. And I think, you've got to set your expectations. If you can get a Zuma for 5 million, it doesn't necessarily need to get as many points as one of them would for 6 million. The polls are still there. Excellent. Excellent. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Subscribe. 2,500 of you. Let's get them sub numbers up. No, I can see the polls. I just thought you lot couldn't. So don't panic about them. We'll do it soon. Yeah, Bernardo Silva. So it does. Now that Sané is out, I think is it 7 months? Did I read that right? Either way, Sané is out for a while. He needs surgery. I think he's got an ACL injury. So Bernardo Silva probably pretty much nailed in that front three now. I think Mahrez will play from time to time, of course. But I mean, Bernardo Silva looks pretty nailed. I don't know though. I feel like De Bruyne, Sterling, and Aguero are still going to be the ones. Will he get good enough numbers for 8 million? Quite possibly. I mean, he's really well owned still because a lot of people brought him in when the game first launched. But I mean, and I like the way that Luke on the Scoutcast looks at it sometimes. Just nice and simple. He's going to play in the front three for the most part for a team that will probably score the most goals this season. I mean, he did get 15 attacking returns himself last year. I think he should probably do more than that in that City team. But surely the points will come. I kind of agree with that. And I've looked at Lucas Moura to Bernardo Silva for sure. I don't think I'll do it, but I've definitely thought about it. So I think he's a good pick. If it doesn't work out, there's loads of options around that price you could go to for 8 or less. Walker Peters' thoughts. I mean, he's only 5 million, which is nice, but I mean, he is probably a transfer waiting to happen, you'd imagine. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know if there's any Spurs fans in that think differently. I've saw a lot of people kind of saying that it's kind of not maybe his last chance, but he's been at the club a while now, like like on the fringes of the first team, and is now maybe his chance to kind of break in and make it his place. But the thing is, we know that Pep rotates his fullbacks. I don't think that's going to change now that they've got rid of Trippier. But for 5 million, maybe it's worth the risk. It's just, I mean, Aurier is obviously the much more experienced player. So the question I would ask myself is, would you be surprised if he was dropped? Probably not, right? Is he worth the risk? Maybe with Villa and Newcastle first three. Zetkas, thanks very much. Jota, Murray and Gray. So Jota, great pick. I mean, we don't know for sure if Gray's going to start. I mean, you'd imagine it's going to be Deeney and DFA, and they've got Welbeck there now. So I'm not sure about Andre Gray. And Murray, sure, if they hadn't just bought Mapai. Again, probably someone I've pronounced wrong. But I just think Murray and Gray are possible problems for that front three. Last question in the poll is badly worded. How many premium attackers? I mean, how many premium attackers? I mean, I could have put a pricing, sure, but how many you got? That's it. It's not the end of the world if people don't get the polls. They're not an exact science, you know. Ultimate Wingman. Oh yeah, Palace's strike force is it's interesting. They've only got 2, right? Oh, 3. They got IU as well. Sorry. Yeah. Who starts up front for them? Let me just have a quick look at something because I want to see. Hang on. Can't remember how many minutes. He's played. Yeah, Benteke. Like, if you go on Fantasy Football Scout, they've got a really great pre-season guide. It tells you how many minutes players have played. So. Benteke's played 60% of all minutes available. Wickham 43%. Maybe IU will get the nod, but I reckon they're just going to give Benteke a chance. I mean, that is... Maybe they'll play Zaha up front as well. That's the thing. They don't have to play one of those strikers. So they could play Zaha up front, maybe have Townsend either side. They've done that before. I got a feeling they'll just give Benteke the nod and just see how he gets on. Just want to check how many minutes he played. Pranav, thanks very much. You got the exact same team as mine, apart from you got differences. Ryan for Pope and Bernardo for Lucas. Stick or twist? I mean, it's up to you. Like, I can't really... It's really hard to answer that question because if I say twist, I'm basically telling you to have my team. Like, if you're happy with Bernardo Silva and Ryan, you should absolutely go for it. I mean, I've just talked a lot about why I think Bernardo Silva is a perfectly fine option. So go for it. Like I said, you can always change. You've got transfers. You're not completely locked in. Don't panic too much. Cancelo, absolutely one to monitor for sure. And you'd imagine Pepe will be a starter long term. Whether or not he's going to start the season, I don't know. There's quite a few exciting players at 9.5. Obviously, if you started with De Bruyne, you can move to Son, you can move to Pepe. You can go to anyone less than that, of course, as well. Am I happy with 60 plus? I mean, as always, the answer with that is, I'm happy with 60 plus as long as everyone else doesn't have 80 plus. And depends what rank I finish at, right? I mean, 60 plus is probably what I would like most weeks. Obviously not double game weeks or whatever. But I'm feeling pretty good about my team. I'm trying to stick to my own advice of not panicking now. You know, there are transfers that have happened today that I'm interested in, but they're not rip up my squad worthy. You know, will Lucas Moura do the business? Maybe not. You know, do I change to Martial? Do I change to Bernardo Silva? Do I change to Sigurdsson? Do I change to Richarlison? I'm not going to spend the last, 21 hours, whatever it is, stressing over it. Like, I could look through every single stat and still get it wrong. I've kind of made these choices for a reason, and that's where I'm going to stick for. I think I'm going to stick to what I've got on screen. Probably, we'll see when it gets to like. I'm doing a stream tomorrow. Like, I do really think it's a stupid idea to be doing a deadline stream. I've got to be locked in before 6 because trying to amend my team on stream is bad enough, let alone on a deadline stream. Do I really trust Bournemouth? I mean, do I trust them to play Sheffield United and Villa and probably get some goals? Yeah, I think so. See if we've got any different questions. Christensen a regular for Chelsea. I think the honest answer is we don't know. So, again, there's plenty of Chelsea fans that will give their opinion in the chat, but I think the general consensus is Zuma and Christensen will start the season, and then it's those two plus Rudiger when he's back for 2 spots. So which 2 get it? I don't know for sure. Why am I wearing a suit? Because it's game week 1 tomorrow. Come on. Ooh. If team news was leaked tomorrow, one of your Liverpool players were absent, would you twist? I don't want to sit on the fence, but I do want to take you through what I would think. So, which player is it? Where has this team news come from? And why are they not playing? So, you know, Salah, he's broken his leg. I'll probably get rid of him. If it's in the know and there's not really much hype around it, I'd probably stick. If it's a really good source and it was a defender, I'd think about twisting, to be honest, because I don't think there's enough points I would miss out on by just getting rid of defender. So defender probably. If it was Salah, let's say ideal scenario, someone extremely trustworthy, and it can 100% happens that Salah is out for 1 game, but he will definitely be back for game week 2. I'd probably keep him, or leave the money in the bank to get him. Salah flew. Yeah, I would probably go without him, honestly, because if it was a reliable source and he's ill, he's going to miss game week 1, I would probably not start with him. I would probably start with someone else and keep the money in the bank. As a fixtures man, the Pope. The thing is, though, thanks for that, by the way, Gaurav. The 4.5 million defenders, there's not a huge amount of options, right? You're right, though. The first 3 or 4 are pretty tricky. So the other options are Ryan, obviously. Henderson. Henderson's got some pretty nice fixtures and doesn't miss the Man United game until like game week 13. Chance of me getting to game week 13 without wildcard is pretty slim. Ryan does have some good fixtures. I'm just not sure about their defensive ability. But they do have Burnley, Southampton and West Ham. Heaton had the best. I've just been kind of put off him a bit, which is why I've gone back to Pope. A little bit of everything, thanks very much. Welcome to a new season. Welcome to all of you as well. 2,884 apparently. Cancelo played at left back at times for Juventus. Could he start over Zinchenko? Also Gomez to start for Liverpool. So, first of all, I've heard this a lot about him playing at left back. It could happen. I don't know is the honest answer. My gut feeling, and hopefully I'm not just trying to think of reasons why Zinchenko would play, but given how much of a fan of Laporte Pep was, because I was going to say Pepe then, because he was left-footed and could play that left centre-back role, is he going to play a right-footed player that regularly at left-back? I just don't know about that. And I think, let's be honest, he's coming because of Walker, right? Walker has not been that impressive in the last season. So my gut feeling is no. The gut feeling is that could happen, of course. I don't feel like that's probably the plan, but let's see what Pep says. Second question, the fact that Gomez started last season, only lost his place through injury, and started the Community Shield, I feel like he's the number 1 centre-back next to Van Dijk. But again, though, you obviously played that premium for Van Dijk because he's guaranteed to play. Whereas you probably have that little doubt with Gomez, but he can play right back as well. So there's every chance that he plays way more games than not. So I think that Gomez is first choice, unless we hear otherwise. Although I am pretty much basing that off the Community Shield and the start of last year. Talk Man United. We haven't really talked about Man United, have we? There is copyright-free music in the background. Might just not be able to hear it very well. I don't know. I turn it up and people will tell me they hate the music. Fraser instead of King. I mean, I could go for Fraser instead of MOURA and, I don't know, Moist Ken. Could go for Jota. Wow, 3,000 viewers. All right, we have to tweet about this, and then we'll talk about Man United. All right. Although all those 3,000 are gonna turn off now because I'm tweeting instead. I apologise. This is where the stream goes down again. Yeah, Man United. Look, Martial. His like returns for the amount of minutes he plays are always good, right? Generally, he's a pretty good. He returns pretty well attacking wise when he plays. Obviously, the problem has been since he's been at the club is he's never been a regular starter. The difference this year is we've lost Lukaku. Daniel James, I'm just not convinced he gets too many minutes early on. It's a big step up, right? I do think he's going to get minutes. I just don't think he's going to play that often. Like start, I mean. So really it's Martial and Rashford for one of the wings plus the striker position. And Martial has played kind of up front a bit more through pre-season. So for 7.5... So I think he's a good option. But then for 7.5 million, you look at Fraser, 2 better starting fixtures. And you kind of know what you're getting, I suppose, with Bournemouth. We still don't really know what we're going to get from Man United under Solskjaer, given how badly they finished last season. Lucas Moura, a bit of a pump, but does play Man City second game of the season. So I like Martial as an option. I do. I think after Chelsea, the fixtures are okay. They're not great. They don't have that really, really nice run of kind of, bottom 6 sides for a while. But yeah, I like him. I don't know whether he's going to start up front or on the left, but he's going to play. He's going to start the season, absolutely. Lukaku's gone. Sanchez hasn't really played any pre-season apart from the African Cup of Nations, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Martial is one of those players that I wouldn't be surprised if he does really well. He just does return when he plays. It's a bit like Pogba. You don't know what mood he's going to be in. 3,000 is definitely a new record. I actually found a tweet a few days ago from 2 years ago where I had 600 concurrent viewers, and I tweeted that was a new record. So 3,000 is definitely a little bit higher than that. Path, thanks very much. With Iwobi, Richarlison, Ken, Sigurdsson, goals might get divided, so it's hard to bet. That's a good point, yeah. I think... I almost feel like that's a pessimistic view. You are kind of right, I suppose, but at the end of the day, they also might score more goals, right? And I think Ken is the number 9, and Richarlison will still... Richarlison scored, I think 10 goals in the first half of the season, the last 2 seasons. So I think he'll still be good for goals. Iwobi, is he much of a goal scorer? We'll wait and see. Sigurdsson's still going to be shooting from outside the box, set pieces. So he will get goals, especially if he's on penalties. But it wouldn't put me off Everton just because they got more options. If anything, that's a good thing, I think. I think it just improves their attack. Can I comment on your team? You haven't linked to your team, and there's no way I'm going to... Oh, I found it. Van Dijk, Trent, good. Cole. Duffy, Salah, Fraser, Lamella. I mean, Lamella's a bit like Moura. You don't know how long he's going to be in the team. Overall, that looks like a pretty decent team. Nothing major. I mean, Duffy, 5 million for a Brighton defender. Probably Rav Ryan, I think. I saw another one. The kind of... Yeah, there we go. The $2 tweet super chats, whatever, don't show up at the top, so it's hard to find them. Coleman Fraser in a 4-5-1 versus Dean and King in a 4-4-2. I mean, with the 4-4-2, you have better bench options, but realistically, I always wonder how many points we're really going to get off the bench. I think the fact that Everton have signed a new right back, even though I don't think he's going to come straight in, I'd probably go Dean and King. Just about. Yeah, Dunk is 4.5. The thing is, Duffy's priced at 5 because of the attacking returns. That's why. Still can't get my head around David Luiz. Yeah, it was a strange one, and let's be honest. Pa, thanks very much for becoming a member. Whoa, what? No, I'm not. I can't say what. Oh, I just read because that'll create absolute drama. And I don't think it's true. Let's just say someone just tweeted me about an injury, which I don't think is true, and I'm not even going to say who it was. Because if it was, it'd be all over Twitter, and it's not. I think Button's popular because a lot of people go Ryan and Button, so that if Ryan gets injured, you've got Button. He's just a bit more well known than the other 4 million keepers, I think. That's all. Don't think there's a massively good reason to go for him other than he will play if Ryan's injured. Sterling is fit. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say who it was. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Because it's not true. I don't think so. I'm not even going to start the conversation and then get absolutely flamed by everyone. If it was legit, I would tell you and we'd discuss it. How much was Wan-Bissaka last year? 4 million. You're really backing Gray to start over DFA after watching them pre-season. He has had a really good pre-season. I feel like DFA is a bit like Jota, maybe not as good, right? Jota's brilliant, but DFA just adds something different. Like Gray is not the same as Deeney, but he's much closer to Deeney than DFA is. DFA adds a bit of flair to the team. I just can't see him starting Gray regularly. I'm trying to check on this injury because someone's just mentioned it in the chat, which is interesting, but I don't see it everywhere, so... Yeah, anyway, I'm going to shut up about that. Drinkwater, 4.5 million I think he is, obviously gone to Burnley. I don't know if he's going to be a regular starter though. I saw Adam, who's in the chat, or usually in the chat, saying he doesn't know if he's necessarily going to start straight away. So I still think Dendonker's probably the best 4.5. My top pick for Everton attack. I think Sigurdsson's... I don't know. Everyone seems to think that Sigurdsson is safe. Like the safest pick. I would like to take a punt on Richarlison if he's ready to start. Obviously, he's played in the African Cup of Nations, so maybe, again, we'll have to wait for press conferences. But Richarlison has started great for the last 2 seasons. I'd be pretty tempted to go with him. I don't know if he's fully fit. We're going to have to wait for the press conference. I don't think Everton had theirs today. Yeah, I guess Sigurdsson's safest. Keane. Be like Keane, Irish. Ken. The number 9 for Everton. I think he is such an interesting option. But realistically, no one knows if he's going to start Game Week 1 yet. No one knows how he's going to adapt to the Premier League. So it's hard to just punt on him in Game Week 1 unless you're really brave. Who is the best 5 million defender? I'd probably just... I don't know if they... I suppose Zuma, probably. Zuma for Chelsea. Zuma, if you want to spend 5 million. 4.5, there's quite a few options. Maybe someone like Cathcart at Watford or Diop Balbuena at West Ham. Someone asked me, is it possible to go through people's teams? No. Not, unfortunately not. I can't really rate teams anymore. It's just too many people that watch. Willy Bolly, 5 million's injured. I don't know if I would back Wolves for clean sheets just yet, though. You're truly terrible at pronunciation. I'm not that bad. Not for most players. Can we just talk about Milivojevic all the time? Will Rico start for Bournemouth? So I've actually followed a few Bournemouth people on Twitter. And even they don't seem to know. So he's probably going to start the season because I think Daniels is still out. When he's back, who knows? Oh, there we go. Jamie in the chat. I think Rico will start left back for us. I think he's played in every game. So I don't think there's too many doubts that he will start the season. It's just whether he'll carry on, I suppose. Now, if he comes in and does well, maybe he'll get to keep his place. I mean, Daniels is getting on a bit, right? I know, this is why I don't say anything. Top pick for Newcastle. Andy No, yeah. Is there a top pick for Newcastle? I'm not sure there is. Richie, when he's fit. Oh my god, I can barely read the chat. I'm having to stop it. Camarasa 5 million. Yeah, I mean, if Camarasa are coming at 4.5, that would have been really interesting. What's up, FPL there? I kind of already went over my Trent versus Robertson thoughts. To give you the really brief version, I do think Trent, attacking-wise, at least based on last season, is the better pick. And obviously, they're going to get the same clean sheets if they both play. I'm just going for what I see as safety in Robertson. If you feel that Trent Alexander-Arnold is completely nailed and going to start every game, as many games as Robertson, then go for him. Kunal Pal, thanks very much for that. I got a feeling you meant to put a message and you've missed it. I will try and keep a lookout for your message, but it's tricky, I'm not going to lie. You think Arsenal's really overlooked? They were third on most goals scored last season after City and Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't think it's that people are necessarily overlooking on purpose. Like, they just don't think Arsenal are very good. It's just circumstances. So Lacazette is 9.5 million. It's quite a lot of money to spend when you can get like the likes of Wilson and Vardy for less money. Aubameyang is 11 million. So then you're looking at versus Kane, who has Aston Villa at home, and obviously Kane's got a lot of love in the FPL community in general for how well he's performed in previous seasons. Maybe not last season, but previous seasons before that. So you're weighing up him against Kane, you're weighing up him against Sterling, Salah, and then you've got Pepe, 9.5 million. Again, it's quite expensive. People are looking at De Bruyne, and they don't know for sure if he's going to start, and they don't know, the one thing is Arsenal have bought lots of good players. How are they all going to fit in? How are they all going to play together? So I think Ceballos set 5.5 million. If he's playing like a number 10 role, or if he's like, the old Ramsey role where he's playing kind of central mid, but he's making those runs into the box and getting goals, of course, then he's going to be super popular at 5.5. I just think there's either unknowns with Arsenal, or they're just at really annoying price points. But I fully agree. I think they've bought really well in the transfer market. And going to be looking good. Simple as that. Yeah, and great point there by a little bit of everything. They've got Liverpool and Spurs in game week 3 and 4. So you can probably wait for them. Opinion on Harry Wilson. I mean, 6 million, it's a lot of money, right? I mean, Liverpool fans seem to think he's going to do well. The problem is you can get King for the same price, albeit obviously King up front or whatever. Is he actually in already? Yeah, he's in. King forward, Wilson's in as a mid. Obviously, it was the same price as Brooks, but we kind of know what Brooks is like in that team. I don't know. I think Wilson, not Callum. Harry Wilson is just a wait and see. There you go, Adam. Yeah, basically agrees with Keane. Nobody bar Marcus Silva knows if he's going to play. He doesn't think he will. I kind of agree. I don't know if he'll start straight away. Maybe bring him off the bench for a game or two, then let him start. It depends. I mean, they've got Calvert-Lewin they could play. Okay, we'll do the polls in like 5 minutes. So if you haven't already voted, make sure to go and vote on them. Click the little eye in the top right corner. If you've not subscribed, go and subscribe. And hit the bell so you know when all the next lot of streams are going live. And hit the like button. Thanks. Let me see how many likes we're on here. Got to be getting up to 1,000, surely. 539. Is VAR playing a part in my selection? Not really at all, to be honest. In fact, how many penalty takers do I have? King, Salah. That's it. So no, basically. I feel like I think that's it. Maybe Perez. Maybe you'll take penalties off VAR. No, you won't. Just messing. I just did remind everyone about the polls. One thing I'll do as well. I'm going to just give a shout out to all the patrons, literally all of them. Let me just switch over just a sec. If we didn't have MOURA, would I go for Sigurdsson or Fraser? I'd probably go for Fraser and then look to switch to Sigurdsson after 2 game weeks. Just go for those fixtures in the first 2. Ceballos is competing with Ozil number 10. Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see how they do. Let me just quickly do this. Why does the transition not work? So basically, I've just put up every single patron that is supporting the channel right now. And then moving forward, I'll just do the new ones plus the producer role ones. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description. There is a monthly mini league. So the August one's already been sent out. So the next one will be September. There's a cash prize for that, as well as a t-shirt from brickballers.com if you want to check them out. And there's a Slack channel as well dedicated for the Patreon guys. So thanks to everyone on there who's supported. They've helped like get the new light, the green screen and stuff. So the support's been awesome. There's lots of them who've been there since last season. Lots of new signups as well. So the Slack channel is kind of going well for discussion. So if you want to check it out, links in the description below. And the next mini league will be for September, but you'll get the Slack invite straight away. So check that out if you want to. Thanks very much to all of those guys and girls. My transition thing's not working. Weird. That's some Patreon list. I know, I was actually getting a bit worried I wouldn't be able to fit them all on. People are confused. The last poll, if people are confused, I'm not going to change it. There's no point now. Am I concerned about Lucas Moura not starting? Not for game week 1 at least. Past City. The thing is, I've seen a lot of people say how good he was last season, right? And how good he was in the semi-final of the Champions League. And he was brilliant. And then what did they do? They dropped him for the final because Kane was back. So I've just got no confidence that long term he's definitely going to start, which is why I might switch him for Martial or an Everton player. But I just think in the back of my head I'm thinking if I can get 3 game weeks out of Lucas Moura, I'm happy. Get Newcastle and Villa at home. Man City, I know a lot of people saying like they won 4-3. That was in the Champions League. That was completely different circumstances. That's knockout fixture. I'd expect this game to be much tighter. I don't expect many goals for Spurs away to Man City. But it is a punt. On the other hand, okay, you could say Zinchenko's a bit of a punt. I have no other punts in my side, really. Perez, okay, we don't know how he's going to play in the league for Leicester. Exactly where he's going to line up, we don't know. But I don't have any other punts really in my team. So is one Lucas Moura the end of the world? I don't think so. Will I change him tomorrow? You have to tune into the deadline stream and find out. Jota or Jimenez? I mean, look, they were both great today. I've not really changed my opinion on those two players. I don't think... Maybe he probably will at times. I think over the course of the season, I don't think Jimenez is going to score £1 million worth more of points. So even tonight, obviously, hypothetically, we don't know what the bonus situation would have been. I expect Jimenez would have come out with 3. But Jimenez got 2 goals, so that's 8 points. But Jota got 3 assists, that's 9 points. So even when Jimenez is scoring 2, Jota's still getting that extra point. Now, is he going to get a hat-trick of assists every game? Of course not. Is Jimenez going to get a brace every game? Definitely not. But I just think you save the $1 million and go for Jota. Ever since they switched formation to 3-5-2, Jota has matched or slightly bettered Jimenez. So I love Jimenez. Of course, he's on the back of the wall. But I just don't see why you would spend the extra $1 million personally to start. Maybe later on, maybe it'll be worth it. Then we'll see. Rank last year was like 12k. Why 2 Bournemouth strikers? I think they've got good fixtures, and I think Wilson's basically in. Then I just need a 6.5 million forward, so I've just chosen King. I feel like a lot of with questions like that, I think a lot of it is perception wise. If King for whatever reason was listed as a midfielder, I think he used to be listed as a midfielder. If he was, and I was playing 4-5-1, I don't think anyone will question will I have King and Wilson. It's just because he's taken up a forward spot. And then it's him versus Jota. Okay, you can make an argument for Jota. I probably wouldn't argue with you too much. But I don't think there's too many other standout 6.5s that are massively better than King. Not yet, anyway. Am I slightly annoyed that I don't have a proper punt in there, like someone under 5%? Not really. It doesn't really bother me. I know it's quite a highly owned team. Like even Perez is 16%. Zinchenko's still under 10. Probably for good reason. But this is... I don't know. I mean, ownerships are going to rise tomorrow, right? But for me, if they played the same minutes, right, Sterling and Salah. I mean, Salah might still come out on top, but I don't think you could strongly argue that Sterling would be massively far away from Salah, right? And he's only owned by 31%. I know that's high, but that's still 2 out of every 3 managers do not own Sterling. I'm pretty happy about that. Less than half of managers own Salah. I'm pretty happy about that. Lucas Moura, 10.4%. Could be a nice differential for the first 3. I think that's okay. I don't tend to worry about differentials too much, especially this early on. I think, yeah, okay, overall they're all quite highly owned, but there's still a lot of managers that don't own my players. That's how I'm looking at it anyway. I've not, if I'm completely honest, apart from for like video purposes, for differential videos and stuff like that, I've not even really looked at ownership. Are my DMs open on Twitter? They are, but I won't get back to any rate my teams. My inbox is insanely filled. There is no way I'm going to have time to get rid of to get back to them. And like I always say, if you're happy with your team, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I've got to be honest. Even just talking out loud about Lucas Moura, I am getting cold feet on him. Who will I go for? Probably Martial. Will we have quickfire this year? We will. I need to create a background for it, basically. I don't have. There's a couple of backgrounds I still need to do. I mean, I could just do it on the background I've got, but I wanted a specific one for it. But we might do it in the next stream. I think, given the number of questions that are coming in, probably won't do it today. Maybe we'll do it. Probably not tomorrow. But maybe we'll start as the season. Gets into full flow like normal. Yeah, obviously Martial against Chelsea is not perfect, but you know, they got other fixtures after Chelsea. Thanks, Path. Ross Barkley. Okay, I don't think we've not really spoken much about Ross Barkley. I think it's simple with him. If he's playing number 10, week in, week out for Chelsea, and he's on penalties, even if he's not on penalties, if he's playing number 10 for 6 million for Chelsea, week in, week out, with kind of William, Pedro, you know, 2 of William, Pedro, Pulisic, plus probably Abraham up front. Of course, I'm excited about that, even if it is Ross Barkley, who has been super frustrating in the past. Can I guarantee that he is going to play week in, week out as number 10? No. I mean, Mount was pretty good as well pre-season. Barkley could quite easily be the first proper bandwagon. Maybe not in game week 1 because he's playing Man United, but game week 2 onwards could be a proper bandwagon. I mean, in general, Chelsea players, I think everyone is pretty much in agreement with Chelsea, about Chelsea, is that there is a value player or 2 or 3 in that team. At some point in this season, like, there's never write a team off or a player off for the whole. Well, you can write some players off. You can probably write Andy Carroll off for the most part. For anyone that's new around here, I once triple captained Andy Carroll, so you should probably just switch the stream off now. But yeah, Pulisic, 7.5 million. The striker, whoever it might be, Tammy Abraham, 7 million. Barkley, 6 million. There is definitely going to be some value there. I'm just not sure I'm confident enough to choose who it is right now. Defenders for sure. Zumas, 5 million. If he's the number 1 centre-back, I'm probably going to be all over that on wildcard. Yeah, that's right. I did triple captain Andy Carroll once. Like I said, just turn the stream off. Just hit the like button on the way out. Should we do the polls? It's been over an hour. I feel like we should do the polls. But you're right, Adam. There is, you know, even Man United, you can probably. I mean, the attack for Man United is probably going to be McTominay, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Lingard, James. I mean, that is awful, really. With a lot of the top squad, Joe, if I don't know exactly how they're going to play, or you know, you're unsure exactly who's going to start. Thoughts on Zaha? I like Zaha as long as he's going to. Let's see what. I don't think Hodgson's had a press conference yet. Let's see what he says about kind of his frame of mind. If he says he's got to get his head back into the game, then maybe wait on him. But I think for 7 million with their fixtures, he's still going to be a great buy. And Cahill 4.5. I mean, as long as he's a regular starter for them, you know, Hodgson teams are usually pretty good for clean sheets. I think he's a good price for 4.5. Potential bit of goal threat as well. So I actually quite like Cahill. If I was going to have to go for a 4.5 kind of bench player, I'd probably look towards him. Oh, Hodgson has had it. Okay, I don't know what he said. I've not seen it. Maybe someone in the chat can let us know. You just came here to plagiarise. Okay, at least you're honest. I wouldn't copy my team though. Okay, he said today on Sky that he sent him home because he didn't have the right frame of mind. There you go then. I would probably wait on Zaha. Hodgson says that Zaha's beef is with the chairman. Yeah, I did think that was a bit of a weird thing to say. I mean, it's probably true, but I wonder what the chairman thinks of that. How do I get in a premium striker? Wilson and MOURA to Kane or Aubameyang plus a 5 million midfielder, or I have to get rid of Salah or Sterling, which is a choice I would have to make. Let's do the polls before I answer too many more questions and we don't get them done. Okay, so how many defenders are you playing? Bearing in mind, lots of people were saying 5 at the back at the start of the season. Damn. So 4% 5 at the back. I think that's probably fair. 74% going 4 at the back. I'm surprised it's still that high. I mean, I guess I've got 4 at the back, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But a little bit surprised. Then 20% playing the classic 3 at the back. Best 7.5 million midfielder. 67% saying Fraser. So they're saying I've got it wrong with Lucas Moura. Only 18% for Moura, and even less, 12% for Martial. And 2% for poor David Silva. So Fraser massively in the lead. They're probably unsurprisingly given the opening 2 fixtures. How many Liverpool defenders are you going for? So this stream likes Liverpool defenders much more than the Scoutcast. 75% going for 2 Liverpool defenders. 22% going for at least 1. And then there's a handful of people going for none and 3. So most of the stream going for a Liverpool defender. And then only 22% going for 1. How many premium attackers? So, got to take the headphones out. Sounds weird when you can't hear yourself talk. You'll have to let me know if anything goes wrong with the sound. Oh, jeez, it's all going wrong. So how many premium attackers? Yeah, okay, people definitely got confused with this. 50%. We probably shouldn't do this poll. Maybe you're alright. I meant, yeah, how many premium attackers? 11 million plus. Maybe 50% have got none, but I doubt it. So I don't think that's right. Sam Robertson and Van Dijk haven't bunched since the game released. Same here, I've got to put these back in. It's so weird not being able to hear myself. It feels like I'm in a room talking to myself, which I absolutely am. But it's weird. If you classify now, Vardy's not premium. Premium would be Aubameyang, Kane, Mane, Sterling, Salah. Maybe I should have made it obvious. Lesson learned. Lesson learned for me. What's my first lesson learned of FPL 2019-20? It is don't put a poll about premium attackers without a bit more information. You got the same number of viewers as a full O2 Academy. Sounds good. Maybe I'll do it at the O2 next time. Sell out. And Aguero, of course. Sorry. I'll tell you what, we won't be forgetting Aguero after he smashes West Ham game week 1 and none of us have him. Am I scared of Aguero? I feel like in the past I would be. I feel like I'm a bit more chilled now about these kind of things these days because I've kind of learned you just can't have everyone. You know, I don't have Aguero, but I have Sterling. If I had Aguero, I wouldn't have Sterling. So I'm happier owning it in Raheem. And look, if Aguero goes mad and Sterling's not very good, maybe I can switch, but you know, that's not really what I'm thinking of doing, to be honest. So I'm not scared of Aguero, but I know that he could do absolute damage, and he is pretty highly owned by a lot of FPL managers. In fact, he is owned by nearly 20%. So yeah, it could be worrying. But then Sterling's only with 30%. So if I didn't have Sterling and I had Aguero instead, I'd probably be a bit more worried. I don't know. I'm pretty chilled. I know tomorrow, maybe even doing a deadline stream will help. I know tomorrow I will get a little bit jittery. I will start thinking. The worst thing I think you can actually do is not. Is I already know in my head that Zinchenko and Lucas Moura could change. I think it gets worse when you start looking at other combos you've not really looked at. So if I start looking at Lucas Moura and King, who could I get instead of two of them? Then I think you start getting into dodgy territory then and panicking at last minute. Or if I start thinking, oh, instead of Wilson and Lucas Moura, could I get a 6.5 million forward and like De Bruyne instead, maybe? Which I have thought about already. So try and... I know this sounds counterintuitive, but I'm going to try and not think too much tomorrow. Just keep an eye on press conferences. I mean, the beautiful thing is, we don't have transfer windows to worry about. I love that the transfer window is shut today. Screenshot this team for the stream and log out of FPL. Might have to. I do think Lucas Moura and Zinchenko have good chances of being switched to. Now, the follow-up question is to who? I know. I can hear the shouts now if you're only going for Man United players because you're a Man United fan, but it could be Maguire and Martial. Maybe by tomorrow I'll have one Man City and two Man United players and no Spurs. We'll see. For Zinchenko, I'm basically waiting for Pep at this point. Laporte back in training. So, again, wait to see what Pep says, but I think there's a good chance he plays. Who else have we got? Who's this year's Mitrovic? That's a nice question. Wesley, Pookie, or Sharp? None of the above, maybe? I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, Pookie is probably the standout because he was just so good. And you think, even if he does come down a level because it's the Premier League, he got something like nearly 40 attacking returns last year. So I guess Pookie's probably the one. Wesley's like a bit of an unknown, I think. Bit of Brazilian flair, but I know Villa. Not sure if Villa are going to score the amount of goals that Norwich will. I mean, in terms of just 6.5 million players, then yeah, maybe Jota, like people are saying. But yeah, Pookie's probably the standout. I quite like the sound of Haller. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I mean, he's 7.5 million, so he's quite expensive. So you're really going to wait and see on him. You're not going to go for him from the off, I don't think. Who's next on the wall behind me? I don't know. Let's see who does well at the start of the year. It's only only Man United buys if I go for Sanchez. Yeah, that's not happening. Unfortunately. But you know, if Sanchez starts at any point in the first 3 or 4 game weeks before a wildcard and he scores a goal, you know what's happening next, don't you? Do I think Heaton will start over Pope? I mean, they're playing for different clubs, so yeah. Heaton's playing for Villa now. I'm just trying to see if there's any questions we've kind of not already gone over. So I expect we're going to be going through pretty similar questions at this point. Eriksen versus De Bruyne. Interesting. I think I would... I mean, Eriksen does tick over and he is 0.5 million less. Obviously, there was a lot of speculation about... He's a bit like Zaha. I know he didn't really force him. Like, Zaha handed in a transfer request and stuff. Eriksen didn't quite go that far. I think I would start with De Bruyne versus Eriksen. Spurs do have slightly better fixtures. That's interesting. I don't know if there's a lot in that, really. I just think De Bruyne has been like a 200-point man when he's been fully fit. Assists for days. And if he's fully fit, I fully expect that to happen. Obviously, Man City are going to be the highest goal scorers again this year. I think for long term, you'd probably go De Bruyne. For the opening few fixtures, Eriksen could work. Eriksen could still go abroad. Okay, so maybe that will happen. I think I'd go with De Bruyne. How's the gym going? It was going great up until 2 weeks ago. Then I went on holiday and now I've been awful. Really should put a HDMI cable on. That was only... Yeah, that is well remembered. That was just a Twitter name. Really, I should have a roll of sellotape somewhere. Thoughts on Milner? I mean, from an FPL point of view, don't really have too many thoughts about him. In fact, can I be completely honest with you? I don't even know how much Milner is. So I'm going to quickly look it up. That's how much interest I've had in Milner so far. He is 5.5 million. I mean, the thing is, you just don't know. You know, probably penalties when he's on the pitch, but when's he going to be on the pitch? That's the problem. So I just think we've talked about this on other streams. Like Liverpool are for me, they're the #1 team for FPL players. So you're just wasting a Liverpool spot. Milner's important to FPL. When he doesn't play, it gives Trent corners and Salah penalties. Yeah, of course, but I mean from an actual putting him in your team point of view. Kelly's ownership is 24%. He's almost certainly not starting now, is he? I'm probably going to go for Lundstrom, unless there's real big reason I see on Twitter tomorrow why I shouldn't go for him. Otherwise, I'll just put Rico in. I don't even care that much if they don't play. Dendonka's going to play. That's good enough for me. Milner's 33 years, but have you seen how ripped he is? By the way, look at this. I don't know how much you can see it, right? This is how funky the new setup is. Does this work? Oh, it's not working. It's going to get really bright in here. Oh yeah, there you go. Look. Oof. Just controlled by the phone. Off. Look at that, it's beautiful. Anyway, that's my new toy that I'm loving. I looked through it too. I definitely don't. David Luiz punt. Personally, I'd wait on Arsenal defence and I think he's 6 million, isn't he? Let me have a quick look. Oh, they haven't swapped him teams yet. Come on, lads. Yeah, he's 6 million. For Arsenal defender, I don't think so. I'd rather have Leno in goal or probably Tierney when he's kind of got the left back position locked down. If Ozil's got the number 10 position locked down week in, week out, and he's not playing Fortnite, then yeah, he's definitely an option. I mean, he's a weird one because in the last few years for FPL, I'd say he's been overpriced. He should have had a price drop a few seasons ago. It didn't happen. So 7.5 million. Like, he's been a player that's performed at like 9 million plus. Like kind of player, so I think he could be worth an option. Could be worth putting in your team. Sorry, as long as he's playing. And I just don't know if he's going to have that position locked down just yet. Oh yeah, if you swap, yeah, if you refresh, they have changed the players. And yeah, when he's not playing Fortnite, I mean the man loves Fortnite. Who can blame him? So does my kid. This isn't a military tie, it's actually pink. I had a different tie on, but if you can believe it or not, this tie, the other tie I had was even more business-like than what I'm wearing now. Catch letter physio. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. We've been going for over an hour, nearly an hour and a half, and I do have another stream tomorrow, and I promise you it'll be live at 6, and I won't have any of the problems I had earlier because I know why that happened. So I'll just do it the normal way I do it. You shouldn't have any problems. If you haven't already, please like the stream. Be much appreciated. I think there's so many people watching. We should be able to get that super high. If you are new, hit subscribe. Got more videos coming out every game week. There'll be a stream tomorrow between 6 and 7 p.m. So we'll react to the team sheet for Liverpool and obviously finalise our teams. That's about it. If you want to check out Patreon, the link is in the description below. If you want to check out Fantasy Football Scout, the link is also in the description below. I'd recommend checking out both those links, seeing what you think, and signing up to both. I wasn't going to leave it there. Enjoy tinkering. You have got 20 and a half hours, less than 20 and a half hours till the deadline. Do not miss it. set your team up now, just in case. A bus team, as Always Cheating would say. But yeah, I'll leave it there. We'll definitely stream tomorrow, unless anything goes majorly wrong. And I'll say goodbye. Good luck with the tinkering. Thanks very much. 3,000 viewers is insane. So thanks very much for everyone that tuned in. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check the links in the description below.